All right. So how often do you have power hour on the very first day of a new month? I just love that. I'm going to read you this, and then we're going to talk to Stacy. New month, new beginning, new mindset, new focus, new start, new intentions, new result. So we can read that, and I want you to save this on your phone. In fact, if you put it as your wallpaper, I want you to do that because I want you to look at this and think, okay, it's a new month. What does that mean for it to be a new month? Well, in business, it actually means that you're starting fresh. And so now we have a new beginning, meaning we get to start this month off however we want to start it off. Do we want to start it off with intention? Do we want to have goals set? Do we want to make sure that we have a plan for the ways that we're going to meet those goals? Are we going to set some events up? Are we going to set some coffee dates up with friends? Are we going to do things intentionally? Are we going to have a new mindset? Well, I could say to you, I'm going to see things in a new way. That's my goal for this month. Well, you cannot, just because you will it to be, have a new mindset. You actually have to build it. You have to be a contractor of your mind. That means you need to go read. You need to spend time with people who have a mindset that you want to have. You need to be listening to podcasts. You need to be saying affirmations. These are all ways to build a mindset that you can actually be proud of. A new focus. What you focus on expands. If you think nobody's joining my team, then that's what you look at, and you start to act in ways and talk in ways and message in ways with the belief that nobody wants to join. You need to change the way that you focus. You need to think on things like everybody would want what we have, or everyone would enjoy this power hour, or everyone would love this new slim flavor. Stay focused on the things that you want to expand. This isn't voodoo, hippy dippy weird stuff here. This is just literally the power of the mind. The mind is, I know for my husband, especially when he had COVID, do you know what the hardest thing was for him? It was his mind. Being alone and sick. He said that was the part that got to me the most, was that feeling of loneliness. And like my mind started playing tricks on me. Our mind is so powerful. And finally, a new start, new intentions, new results. Guys, please be intentional this month, whatever that goal is for you. And don't go crazy saying this month, I'm going to sweep the leaders retreat contest and I'm going to double rank to new ranks. I understand that there's so much power in believing and dreaming big, but there's also so much power in setting reasonable goals, because that actually fuels a fire for you instead of fuels disappointment. You don't want to feel that feeling. So everybody unmute for me really, really quick. Just everybody unmute. Everybody unmute, 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 unmute. We are going to act like complete lunatics saying congratulations to Stacy for hitting Senior Ruby yesterday.
Congratulations.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Stacy.
Awesome job, Stacy.
Thank you.
Yay.
Good job.
Gosh, I just love you guys so much. So we're going to hear from Stacy first, because I want you guys to believe that the opportunity is just as good as it's ever been. I want you to see that things can be beautiful and grow over time. I want you to hear all of this because it's going to be such an encouragement to you. Stacy, I'm going to mute and let you go ahead and share. Take as long as you need, and then I have 3 tasks for us to do.
Uh-oh, she shouldn't have said that. Okay, so can I just tell you that I love everything that Jennifer just said, but there's a but here. But I am so sad that those numbers rolled over and I'm now looking at under 100 points again today. So yes, I'm excited about a new month and opportunity, but darn it all, it could have just stayed a little bit longer. That's all I want to say. Just a little bit longer. All right, so she had asked me to share, and first of all, I want to thank all of you. You are an incredible community of people. And I reached out to you earlier this weekend and just said, you guys, here's what's happening and here's what I need. And it was incredible. And I just want to thank you for all jumping in and praying and cheering me on and those positive thoughts. And I so thank you. All right. So here's what I want to share with you. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story that maybe you've heard before, but somebody may not have. So I think that that's really important. I'm not a newbie here. I've been here for a while. You guys, it will be 6 years on January 18th. 6 years on January 18th. And so here's the thing with that. I fast started, I think it used to be called fast tracked when I did it. I fast tracked gold my very first month because that's all we had as the opportunity. It was 1 month at that time. And so whatever you could do in that first month is what you got to do. So it's different now. It's amazing now. And I'll share a little bit more about how that has helped me recently. Okay, good. The sun's going down a little bit. Not that I want the sun to go down, but I'm not just a shadow right now. So I fast tracked gold my first month, which was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be, you know, diamond tomorrow at this rate, right? And that's where I stayed for 4 years. So if you are watching everybody and paying attention to all this like quick movement and you're thinking, oh, I should just give up, or this isn't for me, or I want to encourage you today. Because the only way that you're not going to get to where you want to be is if you give up. And I truly, truly, truly believe that. So I could have given up a long time ago. I was not where I wanted to be. My team never actually fell from gold from that first month. So that was obviously helpful in those 4 years. But we certainly didn't move beyond that. And so I just want to encourage you, if you are kind of one of those people like me that have been here for a while and you're not where you want to be, you will get there. But I also think you probably need to make a change or two. And honestly, that's what I've done. And so I want to share a few of those with you to just see if maybe that can help you as well. If you would have asked me, gosh, 3 years ago, like, what's the thing standing in your way? I would not have told you that it was me. I would not have been like, oh, I'm the thing standing in my way. I didn't realize that. It wasn't something that was like a conscious thought. And so here's what I will share. I needed to do so much work on my mindset. So much work on my mindset, because I didn't even realize how hard I was being on myself. I didn't realize the fact that I was telling people for 4 years. So think about what you're telling people, right? I told people for 4 years what I thought was a fact. When they'd say, well, what level are you in Plexus? I would say, well, I fast tracked gold and I've been stuck there for 4 years. To me, that was just part of my story, right? That was just a fact. I'm just telling you how it is. But thank God, Tiffany Peterson called me up on stage in an event, the first event that I invested in myself in. And she asked me to tell my story in front of 500 people, my Plexus story. And I told that story. And she so eloquently said when I was done with that, and when are you going to stop telling yourself that story? And so I really want you to think about what it is that you're telling people about your Plexus story, because it's actually what you're telling yourself. It's actually what you're telling yourself. So I had to change that story, right? I mean, that like hit home. That was painful. And I did. And so in March of 2020, after attending that conference in January and having her basically like shoot the truth at me, I stopped telling myself and other people that story. And so in March, I became senior gold of 2020. And then in March of this year, I became ruby. And I'll tell you, you guys, it's not like those thoughts didn't like enter in, right? It's like, geez, it took me a year to go from Ruby, because then like you finally get to senior gold and you're like, okay, now I'm going, like now this is the, nope. It took me another year. But part of that is because I allowed those thoughts to enter back in. And I had to get really good at pushing them back out. So in March of 2021, I hit Ruby. I didn't hold that in April or May. So, right, talk about wanting to like tell yourself a few things. But I was fortunate enough to attend a mastermind in May that, I'm going to be honest with you, was a huge investment for me. Not a huge investment for everybody, but a huge investment for me. And my daughter was getting, it was actually the dates were the week of my daughter's wedding. My first of 3 children were getting married at the end of the week, and this event was at the beginning of the week. There were a lot of reasons to not go. It was the week of my daughter's wedding. I wasn't going to be in town to support her. It was money that I didn't really have to spend, but I knew that I needed to get myself in the room. I knew that I needed to make that investment. And so I did. And so that was really kind of like the second big investment into my personal growth and development and mindset work. And then I've continued that. So I've done a mastermind with Tiffany Peterson. And I'm not telling you to spend a lot of money, but what I am telling you to do is, if you're feeling stuck, that's the last time we're going to use that word though, right? If you're feeling stuck, then you need to show up at the things. And you're doing that. Like showing up at this is doing that. Showing up in the room where you don't think you belong. I didn't belong in that room that I showed up in. At least I thought that, right? But I put myself in the room with people who were at the spot that I wanted to be at. And I've made those connections, and those connections have continued, and I've partnered with people from that event. And that has helped tremendously. And so if you haven't invested in some coaching, if you haven't invested in, some travel to be with people, because especially these last 2 years, you guys, like if this is the only connection that you're having, and again, you have to do what you're most comfortable with, I get that. But if you can put yourself in the room, can I just tell you, I still am kicking myself that I wasn't in the room in Nashville. So mad. My team had a Ruby retreat like a few weeks before that. So I thought, oh, I probably shouldn't do both of those. Yes, I should have. Yes, I should have. So when you get the opportunity to be in the room with Jennifer or Sarah or Whitney or whoever else is on here, then please do it, because that makes such a huge difference. And then I'm going to say something else. And I hate that this is being recorded. And I hate that. Okay, now I'm going to cry. I am not emotional, just so you know. I hate that some of my sideline sisters are on here and they're going to hear this, but I think they need to hear it. Whew. I was in Threads. I am very close with my sideline sisters. We are all super supportive of one another. But we have been spinning our wheels together comfortably for a really long time. A really long time. If you are finding that you are kind of like spinning your wheels and nobody's going anywhere because it's comfortable, because you are able to just cheer one another on, that you're not, I don't mean to say cheering one another on that you're staying in the same place, but that you know, you're still there and you haven't fallen back, and that we're all in this together. And it must just mean that this is a really horrible time for everybody because nobody is moving forward, right? If that's the place that you are finding yourself in, then you have to do something different. You have to do something different. And to all of my sideline sisters that are on here, I love you all, but you have to do something different. Because I know that you are all worthy of reaching your goals and your dreams. But you guys, we're not gonna go anywhere if that's the place that we sit in. And so I have had to put myself in the room. I have had to make some connections with people who are in the spot that I'm at. And whew, although that's hard, that's what I needed to be able to move forward.
Everybody loved you. And every time you talk, it's interesting because it even makes me start thinking about whenever I've struggled with weight, I think about the people that I had been spending time with, and it was everyone that kind of makes excuses. And like, I literally have no idea how I keep gaining weight, and we're eating like Cracker Barrel pancakes and like, but we're all like completely confused together. It's like, I don't know if anybody else struggles with weight, but that is like a real thing. And then when you get around people that take it seriously, at first you hate them, but then you're like, wow, they have the results I want, so I'm going to get on board. That's exactly what I started thinking about when you said all of that, Stacy. And I also think this is interesting. Okay, so I want you guys to visualize this. I'm just like, I like to picture things happening. Stacy, when you said that about your mindset and the way that you kept saying I'm stuck, and like you didn't realize how you're actually programming yourself to believe that. Every thought that we have, every thought creates a rush of neurochemicals into our brain. And so that rush of neurochemicals actually creates action in our body. And let me read you this. This is so interesting. Okay, so first of all, you have these chemicals in your brain, and it starts to make your nervous system respond. And your nervous system can do so many amazing things. It can do fight, it can do flight, it can have stress response, and it also can make you do like scary things, like overcome so much. Well, I was reading this and it says what, where, how, and the length of time that we give attention to something in our life, like our repetitive thoughts, whatever it is, neurological wiring that we have, whatever, however long we spend on that, it said concentrating on pain that exists within your body sends electrical currents to your mind that continues to produce that pain. Concentrating on stuck sent messages to your brain to continue making you think about being stuck. And if you understand the word stuck, just think about, I think about Princess Bride, where they're like stuck in the weird pit of sand or whatever. Like, just think about that. You can't move. You have no ability to take action. Like, just think about what you're wiring, this horrible loop over and over and over again. We all do it. Like I do the overwhelm thing. I'm so overwhelmed. And then my whole body starts to act overwhelmed. Like I can't hardly breathe. My mind won't like be able to focus. Such good stuff. Just keep remembering that and remembering what Stacy said to help you guys get past that horrible loop that we're all putting ourselves on. Do you want to share?
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay, because as far as the growth though, you guys, I would say this is the number one thing that I had to do differently. And I think I've said this on here before as well, but I had to start sharing the opportunity.
Yeah.
I wasn't I found it very comfortable and very easy to share the products. I found it very uncomfortable for a really long time to share the opportunity. That is the thing that has made the biggest difference. I was doing this whole thing on my own for years because I was the only one, right? Because I wasn't telling anybody how incredible the opportunity is. And so now I have this amazing team behind me doing the same thing, sharing the product, sharing the opportunity. And so we're all rising together. So if you are me, you are the old me, and you are only talking about the products, I'm going to tell you, you'll stay where you are forever. You have to get comfortable with sharing the opportunity and having people go silver and having people share with friends and family, and quite frankly, make some life-changing money for themselves and their family as well. Okay, that's it.
I mean, that right there. And wouldn't you agree, Stacy, that people probably shy away from sharing the opportunity because they're scared someone will say, well, why aren't you at the top? Or
Yes.
how much money have you made? And I want to dream with people. I absolutely love it. I think it's the best thing ever. And I love it when people share like these big, huge, hairy, scary dreams. And I could picture them doing these things. And we don't want to invite people into that dreaming because we're afraid they're going to hold us accountable to it. And that's why
Right.
many of us don't want to share. Like, I love it when people say, I'm going to be driving a Lexus soon. And they're like, you are? And here's somebody's like silver. But that's what Jessica Heffley thought. And I'm going to tell you right now, Alita, the minute she started working the business, she's like, do you think this would look good when I go to Hawaii? Like showing me an outfit. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, should I like be encouraging this for like a hot second? I'm thinking, I don't want to like disappoint her. And then I'm thinking, are you kidding me? I have to dream with her. And of course she accomplished all that she set out to accomplish. So I love that so much. I'm going to read something really quick that someone just sent me just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Shayna, will you share something really quick about, I know Jessica Heffley is just amazing in coaching people in their mindset. Will you share what she shares with you guys?
Yes. I'm Shauna.
Sorry.
No problem. I always have to do that. No problem. I just wanted to make sure you knew my name because you're Jen Leith. So, so Jessica is awesome. And she is my diamond upline. And on a coaching call, it was a group coaching call one day, she had us all think of something that has offended you. And she's like, when something offends you, a lot of times we think it's about the people who offend us, but truly it's about yourself, right? So why is that offending you? And so she encouraged all of us to think about one thing, anything that offends you right now, what you feel offended by. And she had us all close our eyes and picture Jesus. And she's like, go somewhere with him. You love the beach, go to the beach, go somewhere quiet. If you want to go for a walk, go for a walk with him, but look at his face and get there, just get there. And so she made us all get there. And then she's like, okay, I want you to ask him why that's offending you. Okay. So someone had told me that with this business, I'm in la la land. You're over there in la la land thinking this is all going to be some great thing. Okay. Super offensive. But why was it bothering me? So I went to Jesus and I asked him, and you better believe within 2 seconds of it, I was like, and crying. But he told me, he's like, you fully believe that I can do this, but you don't fully believe that I will. And had I not asked him that, I would have just kept on fully believing that he could. But will he do this for me? He promised me he would. So why was I still doubting that he would? And so I really want to encourage you guys to take that exercise and do it with your team. Like, do it alone, do it often, because how often do we get offended? And people have no idea that they say those words and it sticks with us. But the enemy sure does. And he sure wants that replaying in our minds over and over and over and over and over again. You're in la la land. You're in la la land. You're daydreaming. This is not real. And if you don't catch that and you don't conquer it with some truth, a lot of times those truths have to do with God and what you believe about him. And so my belief about him was that he could. I know you could do it for all the other people, right? So I just want to encourage you guys to do that. I thought that was super powerful.
Good gracious, Shauna. I'm thinking about, especially when we first started getting started in the business and my husband came home from work, I got a lot of comments about, they didn't say these words, but almost the idea of that I was emasculating my husband. And that always, it bothered me a lot. So I'm going to go sit on a beach with Jesus after this and ask him. Actually, everybody's offended now. So I'm sure we all have something to go and talk to Jesus about. So I am going to, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to share my screen really quick because here's what we're going to do. You've probably seen it. If you haven't, then good. We'll watch it together. And if you have, watch it again. We're going to watch Kristen Abart's Diamond documentary. And I'm going to tell you why I think this is so powerful. It is the only Diamond documentary that's not really like a yearbook. It's not really like a family documentary. It is like the best business tool because it's not really about her kids or her home or where she's from. It's more about Plexus. And so once you watch it, we're going to go use this as a tool for our current people already with us saying, hey, would you take a second to watch this and tell me if you feel like it gives you a good picture of what this business could be? You have to end it with a question because then they could just say, yeah, I watched it. You need to know like they actually watched it. Like what color shirt was she wearing in the second minute of the third screen or whatever. So we're going to watch it together. Let me go ahead and open up my crazy computer that always has way too much open. Oh, I wanted to help you. This right here was vision casting for you guys. When Stacy said the month started over, one day on the first day of the month, you'll have 2,664 points. I'm telling you that, and I hope you know me well enough to know that I'm not bragging. What I'm saying to you is one day, your day one will look like that. Can you even imagine what that will feel like? Like that's in your future? That made me uncomfortable to do that just now, by the way. But I thought it would be powerful. So let me make this bigger. Here we go. Why is there no volume? Oh, here it is.
You can make it. When I first got going, really my goal was to help ladies thrive because I knew I had been in a place my health was not good. And when your health isn't good, it's hard to be a good mom, it's hard to be a good wife, it's hard to be fun at all. I wasn't really nervous about anything when I first started because I didn't know anything to be nervous about. I just knew it was a great product and I could help moms make money from home. And so it was my passion from the very beginning to do those two things because women that feel good and women that have resources change the world.
She just has such a God-given talent for like leading people and clearly communicating. It's inspirational to me.
So my two favorite things about what I do is that I get to do it anywhere and I get to do it whoever I want with. Well, here's Brenda, yay! And they make my life better just as much as the products and the income does.
To get together and to travel and to have fun together is just another aspect that has just made this like icing on the cake that I didn't expect.
And you do a lot of training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to work with the ladies and travel to them and connect with teams. So that's really my favorite thing to do.
We're just here because we've helped a lot of people be successful. That's it.
Having 4 kids really close together really depleted me. And so when I found Plexus, it was the finishing piece of the puzzle for me. Healthy living is important to me, clean living is important to me, and gut health is important to me. So finding these and him working for me is so amazing. So I keep them handy, what I take every day. And it's not just me, it's my kids too. So, cheers.
Last month was awesome.
The people in your life, really, it's just meeting their needs and helping them get what they want. And so, no, you don't have to be amazing at social media. No, you don't have to be a public speaker. No, you don't have to even be good at sales because all it is sharing with the person in front of you how you can help them. Jaxie! One of my favorite things about doing what I do is that it sets an example for my girls. And the fact that I have done hard and scary things, I'm seeing them do it and reach out and want to be entrepreneurs themselves. And I'm so proud. Okay, who was I before Plexus? Well, in a lot of ways, I'm the same exact person. I have just got to shine and grow in areas I didn't expect. Growing in skills, growing in confidence. I didn't envision for my life, but I'm so thankful that it's happened. If you're looking for, hey, I want a good product line that will help my friends and family and help my body, this is your place. If you're looking for fun and friendship and awesome company, this is your place. If you're looking for a place to make long-term, residual, stable, amazing income, this is your place.
A dream that we had for our family and it's now becoming a reality. It's just the best gift ever.
Okay, is that not the best tool? Seriously, guys. And I feel like we could all make our own one of these. Like we could all do that. Like have your kids follow you around your kitchen and do that exact video. You don't have to call it a diamond documentary, but what an incredible tool. It talks about you don't have to be a public speaker. You don't have to be good at business. She is just nailing every single objection. So I want you guys to be sharing this with all of your level ones, even ones that have never shared. Say, I really feel like this will give you a picture of why I continue to do what I do and why I think you could do it too. This is supposed to vision cast for them. So I'll send you that link and then we can use that right now for like the next 10 minutes. Leslie, are you open to talking that out with me? Or do you want to do it privately? I'm open to both.
I'm sorry, I did not understand the question. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I was
Yeah.
asking Leslie. Is Leslie on? She asked me a question in the chat and I wanted to put her on the spot. Well, anyone that's asking me that about how to adapt that for a mature audience, tell me, I want you to talk that out with me. Like, what is missing? Why would they not connect to that? Like, tell me, talk that out with me.
For me, because I'm part of that older generation, I think it's a perfect opportunity for us in general. I know you young puppies have got a lot on us and you've got a whole lot to deal with your families and stuff like that, but we've got retirement and we've got to figure out how to make things work in these times that we're living in. And I really and truly, that's how I approach people my age and older is, this is an opportunity for you to really do something without having to get up and go to a job outside of your home, that you could eat lunch with people that you enjoy eating lunch with. Because most of the time we didn't get to do that. We had to raise our kids and do stuff because we didn't have Plexus back then, but now we do. And it's a wonderful tool to help us get to that point of retirement and not have to worry about beans and rice, but be able to work, just be able to provide and to have and to do. And that's kind of how, I don't know if that's the right answer or whatever, but that's kind of how I talk to people that are my age or older. Like, what if? I mean, there's like 70-year-old women in this that are like rocking it like are diamonds and like, so I share a lot of that as well. Plus these diamond documentaries, I'm like, girls, come on. I mean, we can pop in there with these young people and like really rock those cars and really rock those, diamonds they send you and stuff. So, I mean, that's all about our language. But anyway, I pick around a lot, but I'm really serious about it.
No, I think that was perfect. And I want you guys to know that the message of that Diamond documentary is not, this is so good for moms who've had babies. It's more about this person found something that she enjoyed taking. She had fun telling her friends about it. And then she realized she could make really good income doing this from home. And so she did. And so you can modify your messaging that goes with that and say, I watched this and it dawned on me, we're not any different than her. And we could be using this as an opportunity for our retirement. And I think that we could do this together. I believe in you. That message alone would help, at least for me, when I watched that Diamond documentary, it completely paints a picture of how this business works. You find products, you take them, your family takes them, you start telling your friends to take them, and then you build residual income. I was like, to me, it's like the clearest Diamond doc that I've ever watched. Anybody else want to share about that? Now, the men part, I do understand why that's a little bit different. I do get that. Like most men aren't wearing their sports bra and workout pants, taking a picture of themselves in the mirror. I don't know if you saw that in the video, but did anybody else have feedback about that?
I was just going to ask, because like for myself, Jen, you're still young, 43. How do you talk to the ones that are pushing 60 or are retired to cast that vision? Because they've already worked their life, they've been successful at it. A lot of them have, they're not still struggling. But how do you cast that vision to them that there's still time to do this business and live abundantly?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is when Celeste Gwynn got on stage at my very first convention, and she said that she'd been building her network her whole life. And she was probably 35 at the time, right? So she was saying, how did I know all these people? I've been building my network my whole life, which she was young, right? Well, I think if you're 60, oh my goodness, what the heck kind of network do you have then? Like, think about the life that you've lived, the people that you've met, the reputation that you've built, like capitalize on that. Like, think about all the people that you know. And I always get jealous of people that have like young grandchildren. I'll have that eventually, but that are like in their 20s and they're super cute. Like, hello, let's channel some energy through them. Like, use those younger people to bring in new people into Plexus.
Can I speak to this also? So I am retired. I'm an empty nester. Our 3 kids are adults. And that video was super powerful for me. But I also want to add this part. You know what? My career was amazing. I loved every second of it, every minute of it. But although I'm retired, that didn't set me up for a life where I could dream. This is allowing me to dream really, truly for the first time in my life. It's allowing us to take vacations that we never thought we could take. It's allowing me to help other families to do the same thing. It's allowing me to stay connected to people, incredible people, because I'm not going into school every single day and having that opportunity. So I think when we're talking with the more mature audiences, that's definitely something. Like, my 70-year-old aunt just recently got back on the products, and God love her, I swear she almost did it just so we could talk every day. People need the connection that this community can bring. They need the health and they need the happiness. And again, if these 2 years have not like taught all of us that, then I don't know what. So for me, it just like, this is allowing me to have that life where I'm not living check to check, where I'm not having to go to payday advance. We were caught in that cycle for 2 years, you guys, 2 years as teachers. This is allowing us to take more than one vacation a year. This is allowing us to be sure that our children are taken care of for life. So I guess that's the way that I look at it. Like, although people are retired, that doesn't mean they're fulfilled. That doesn't mean they're living joyfully. And we have something that can allow that to happen for people.
And I think that's perfect. And even to the point where you started talking and I thought, what if we go ahead and list, and maybe you guys can help with this. If you're, let's say you're 60 or older, what would be some of the objections you might feel about being able to do this business? And I think what I'm hearing is one of them is like, I'm not good at social media. Like, you think that's something that you'd have to be good at. Like, I have to know how to do all of that. Or maybe it's, I'm on a fixed income, or maybe it's, it's too late for me. I'm in the season of my life where it's not for me. Maybe you have a list of those objections and you're ready to go ahead and overcome those. And if you feel like this video isn't for you to use, then maybe that means you need to make it yourself. And I'm telling you right now, there's no reason why your kid cannot be in the kitchen with you. You show the people your products. It does not have to be perfect or star quality. All you're trying to do is get people to see this isn't about being a professional business person that knows the ins and outs of all the things, perfect at social media, like perfect skin, perfect hair. This is just like the everyday person finding something they like and sharing it with other people. And honestly, guys, the power of 3, think about that. Could you get more simple? We don't use that graphic enough. If you guys would actually look at that power of 3 graphic and share that with people, especially now, because the last thing you want is someone to just take the product credit. That is the last thing you want them to do. You want to get them sharing. You want to know how to retain your people? Get them sharing, get them to silver. If they get to silver and then they're using 3 products, they're 80% more likely to stay with Plexus. That's the secret ingredient right there. So
why don't I share a thought here, Jen?
Yeah, Whitney.
I'm bare naked, so I'm not going to turn on my camera.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I thought you'd want to know. So what came to my mind here listening to this is, the story about the shoe salesman. There were 2 shoe salesmen who were sent to an island. And when they got there, they discovered that no one on that island wore shoes. So the first shoe salesman's like, oh, I'm not going to waste my time, and left. And the second shoe salesman called his manager and he's like, send extra shoes. There is a huge opportunity here. And it's all about your perspective when you're thinking about these people that are in the retirement stage of life. Like, it's all about perspective. You know, if you're looking at as a disadvantage, or like Stacy shared, she sees all the reasons that those people need this even more. And I've had recently my eyes opened in another way, because my son's girlfriend, who's 19, signed up and she fast started Gold. And I was like, Bryn, you are amazing me. Like, to be honest, I kind of like didn't see that as a huge opportunity, those Gen Z people, because I would look at it as like, they don't have income for this, whatever. And so I told her, like, you're inspiring me so much, how you're seeing so much opportunity here with Gen Z. And she's like, if you think about it, we're perfect for this. We've got so many health issues and we live on social media and we're more open-minded. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's completely the same thing. It's all about your perspective. Do you see it as an opportunity or a disadvantage?
I never heard that shoe salesman story. And that is literally the best thing ever. And I was reading when you were saying that, I'm going to read it out loud. Debbie, she said, my current employment as an ESL tutor has closed down. I've always worked in private education with no retirement and not old enough for Social Security. I'm looking for the possibilities and learning how to find my audience. And I literally can picture her sharing that story, saying, I can just see her sharing that and saying, that's why I decided to partner with Plexus, because it actually is now giving me possibilities. And she can share a little bit. I started using this drink. And this is what Sarah Robbins says to do. I wrote this down. She said, facts tell, I always say it's Southern, facts tell, stories sell. And so she says, make sure you're always getting into your social media and sharing how you were introduced to the products and share the timeline of what you experienced. Well, in this video you could literally just share, I'm an ESL tutor. I'm too young for Social Security, but I don't have retirement. And I've found these products. Here's how I was introduced to them. This is what they're doing for me. And this is the income that I've been making and I plan to make in the future. And I wanted to share this with you because this is a really great opportunity. I'm sure you're in the same boat. And if we use these videos to share with our friends and family, and if they're of us, like, think about how much more powerful that is. There shouldn't be an objection in the world, because there's not a person here on the planet that doesn't need income. Like, that's how the world order works. You have to have income to be able to do all the things. And so I think this is relevant for everyone. And maybe we just need to find tools that help men, older people. And we can keep reading in the chat about everybody's perspective on this. This is a really good topic. I'll tell you the other thing that I had written down for us to do was exactly what I just shared with you. So maybe make this a goal for you. I wrote down the facts tell, stories sell. Either share in your stories how you were introduced to the products, or share the time frame of your results. So if you are doing this regularly, you can assume that not everyone in your network is going to see your stories that the day that you post them. And so you might be going in there doing this a lot. I have a girl that her name's Kayla. She makes her drink in her stories every single day. Every day. There's not a day that she misses mixing up her drink on camera. And I wondered why she was doing that. And she said, Jen, I get so many people. They're like, I see how consistent you are. And now I start going to your stories just to see you making your drink every day. It is about creating that repetition of routine, because a lot of people think, I don't think I could do that. I mean, have you guys ever done a system that's really hard to incorporate into your life? Has anyone ever used products or done something that's like, this is just not going to work? How much easier is it to show somebody that you're just mixing up a drink every day? So make that a goal for today, to keep doing that, going into your stories and either sharing how you found out about the products or sharing what you experienced and how long that took. And the other thing I wrote down, we probably don't have time for, but this is something else to work on. Gather as many customer testimonials as you can. And that includes your spouse, your sidelines, your children. Create these quick testimonials. It could be a picture of them, or just make a graphic that says, Sarah said that she started to feel like a hot mama after a week on the slim. And then the next one's like, my daughter says that she finally has energy to be nice to her husband. Like just create all of these slides with all these testimonials. The more testimonials you share, the more you build belief in people. So those are 2 things. I'll put it in the chat so you know to do that. And just kind of, let's close out that power hour in the next 9 minutes. Just kind of do your thing, work in your business. And if anyone wants to keep sharing, they can.
I have a quick question.
Go for it.
What are people finding is the best route as far as sharing? Is it on like, I'm trying to get used to this Instagram because I've been Facebook friendly for a while, and now Facebook's adding some different things too. Is it stories? Is it reels? Is it posts? What do you guys find that is the best avenue to share these little, you know, short testimonials? What do you feel gets through the most?
Anybody want to share what they've found? Because I'll tell you, I try to commit to do my stories every single day, and I'll be out and about and someone will say, yeah, I saw where you shared that. And I would think to myself, I didn't even realize they were watching, because like, you can go through and look at all the people that have seen your stories, but I don't spend time doing that every single day. But it is the repetition. So reels really do work if you want to make a reel. But if you follow Kristen Boss, she's like, that's not the end all be all. Like, that's just not. The reels aren't the end all be all. It is literally inviting somebody into your life. And so by going into your stories repetitively and sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing, people get to know you. They develop trust for you. Do you already share your stories from Instagram to Facebook? I didn't see who was talking. I'm sorry.
It's me, Marlena. Yes, I do have them forwarded onto it. And one of the things I realized on the road trip to the Diamond Retreat was that my Facebook is private, but my Instagram is public. So I'm now trying to swap my mentality over to doing everything on Instagram. And then my Plexus posts, I'm making those public on Facebook, because now I learned how you can choose. And because my mother, I've been making some Facebook lives. I've been doing some recipes and stuff. And my mom's like, Marlena, I can't share it. And I said, oh my gosh, I forgot that Facebook is private. So I did go through and make my lives public so that they could share them.
Why is your Facebook private? Just quite curious.
Well, I had it public for a very long time, and then I put it to private. Honestly, I don't know, other than my kids were little and maybe I was sharing things. I honestly, I don't know. I could probably go back and put it all public again, because I was public for a while. I don't know why I switched it to private, to be honest. Good question.
If I were to look at someone's page and it was only Plexus stuff, I don't know why that is, but it's something about being 3-dimensional and having like the full story. I think because you're obviously a good orator, you're good at talking, and I'm interested in what you're sharing, and you make me ask questions. I feel like maybe opening that up would be really beneficial for you. Let's see. Anybody else say anything? Who has opened up Leaders Retreat? Meaning, has somebody earned it? Is that what you're asking, Tina? I can hear my kids in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. This was good. I didn't upload the recording from last week's either, so I'll upload both of the recordings right now as soon as we get done. And then could somebody make a graphic for the Power Hour for this month? You have the Zoom ID and the password. Could someone just make one and drop it in the Power Hour chat? That would be helpful for me. And thank you. Thank you. And does anybody else have anything they want to share before we hang up? Hang up. That's like a 1980s thing.
Jennifer, I was going to jump on just for 2 seconds. I want everybody to remember, I think this is something where our brains just naturally want to keep us comfortable and keep us in like this safe space of who we're thinking about. So I want everybody to just remember that everybody who is in their 20s knows people in their 40s and 50s. Everybody who's in their 60s has people in their life who are in different. So I think I've seen this a lot just on our team, knowing that it was somebody who's doing great is because their babysitter shared with them. Or, you know what I mean? Like it's this generational thing where we might share that Diamond documentary and somebody in their 60s or 70s might think, oh my gosh, I immediately know 3 or 4 or 5 people who need this just from seeing that. So I would be very cautious in saying I need an above 60 Diamond documentary to share with my above 60 network, because that's limiting your network. And I think a good example is just when I shared with my mom about Plexus, she literally said, I don't want this and I don't need this, but you're my daughter, so I will give it a try. Well, my dad, who was a retired commander in the Navy, who was working as a vice president for a shipyard, was also commuting over an hour one way every day. And he looked at my mom and said, what if what Sarah has found is something we didn't know that we needed? And he then retired at 59 and now is the best grandpa ever. Like, Dad, I need you to go pick up Hudson. Mom, can you meet me here? Like, I retired my parents and our lives collectively are the best ever. And my mom literally said, I don't want this and I don't need this. And now they're like, sure, let's buy a mountain home in Utah. Oh, that didn't work out. Let's sell that. Sure, let's, like, it's unlocked the possibilities that they didn't even know could have been on their table. So I want you guys to all think about, who can I just send this tool to who maybe knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and let's just not limit that. Now, I will tell you, my dad saw it and he was like, my daughter, this is working for my daughter, so I want to explore this. Not every guy is going, you know, we've got some wonderful men on here. Here's where I want people to know that we need to be able to unlock the possibilities of saying, how can we lead with the business to a retired Navy commander who's got a master's degree, who builds ships for the Navy, who is like, my daughter's paycheck is kind of killing it. Like, we need to like figure this out. You know what I mean? Like, don't shy away from that. Don't get scared that there are 59-year-old men who have not imagined that retirement was going to come early, and especially that it was handed to them as a gift by their daughter in the form of network marketing. So, you know, my mom was the reason she went Emerald, we went Emerald together. My dad was behind as a, you know, senior gold, and we've just been one big happy Plexus family. You know, my twin sister is a senior Ruby. So don't limit your thinking, because everybody knows somebody who's either behind them 20 years or ahead of them 20 years. So that's just my 2 cents.
I love that. And it goes back to what Stacy said about sharing the opportunity. Like, do you think a Navy commander that builds ships wants to know, like, is it his pressing need to hear about not having bloating and, you know, irritable bowel syndrome? Like, sure, that would it help him? Yeah. But is he going to be like, I am all in? Probably not. But when you start sharing about the income opportunity, which a lot of us are afraid to do, because either we don't want to look like we're selfish or we're materialistic, or we're afraid someone will say we're in la la land, which we've probably all heard, like Shauna was sharing. It's like, oh, well, enjoy your weird, like, rainbow bright dream. Like, it just, why am I stuck in the 80s right now? Does anyone remember Rainbow Bright? Like, why did I even say that? Maybe I like being older. Okay, somebody make me the graphic. That would be fantastic. And I'm going to go exercise, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Move your body because it makes you a happier person. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.